I'm here in Bahrain with Vice Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of U.S. naval forces in the Middle East, and we are here to talk about cutting-edge drone technology and the future of the Navy. So thank you so much for your time here today.
Great to be here.
I'd like to start with this concept of the Navy's future fleet. What does that look like, and what percentage of the fleet is manned, and what percentage is unmanned?
The Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral White Gilday, has laid out a vision that the future fleet is a combination of manned and unmanned. There are a large number of efforts going on throughout the Navy to achieve this vision. We're one of them. Our leading edge effort is focused on taking unmanned surface vessels and integrating those with artificial intelligence to put more eyes out on the water, which expands our knowledge of what's happening. That contributes to greater deterrence, greater vigilance, and greater regional security, which is good for everybody.
And of course, it's not just about these individual vessels. It is about what the Navy calls digital ocean. Can you explain that?
Yeah, in simple terms, a digital ocean is a synthesis of all the sensors that we can pull together, from seabed to space, sensors that are on the water, under the water, in the sky, bringing them all together to enhance our understanding of what's happening on, above, and underneath the sea.
So what sort of capabilities does a digital ocean give the U.S. Navy?
Today, we integrate manned systems with these new unmanned systems and the technology. And what does that give us? It allows us to see further than we've been able to see in the past. You couple that with artificial intelligence, and you now give yourself the opportunity in a very large theater to detect things that a human couldn't detect, and then bring that information back into a command center so that a human can make a decision. Big picture, though, it allows us to increase our deterrence and our understanding of what's happening around the theater so that we can use our manned vessels more effectively.
And you are rapidly testing and integrating them, but you've also been using some of these unmanned vessels in the past few months. Can you tell us what you have learned from those vessels?
Yeah, we're doing both of those. So we are definitely experimenting, taking cutting edge technology, bringing it from around the world and bringing it here, as we're doing today. And then we're integrating it with artificial intelligence. And then we're also operating it. And on the operational side, we do manned and unmanned teaming, where we take these new platforms and we team them with a manned vessel to get the most out of what the sensors can provide. We're very happy with where we are in the direction we're headed there.
One event that made a lot of news was Iran tried to seize 2 of these drones that you've been using. As you put more unmanned vessels in the water, does the potential for conflict increase?
Yeah, I think it's first important to note that from our interaction with Iran, that their actions were flagrant, they were unwarranted. They certainly weren't the actions that we'd expect with a professional naval force, and most importantly, their actions were a violation of international law. Beyond that, we have not changed our operating patterns. The United States Navy and our partners fly and sail what international law allows, and that's what we'll continue to do in the future.
How is the Navy preparing for and thinking about the proliferation of these unmanned vessels? Not just America's, but competitors and allies around the world?
Well, right now we're on the leading edge of it, and our goal is to stay on the leading edge.
How close behind are other countries? China, Russia, Iran?
Yeah, I wouldn't try to gauge how close they are. We're definitely leading in this space, and we're particularly leading with the ability to integrate not just the platforms, but with artificial intelligence. And I'll tell you, the secret sauce that allows us to do that is the people that we have. The people are allowing us both success at the beginning, reassessment, very quick adjustment, and be able to bring things to a closure in a very effective way. So that's really how we're going to maintain the advantage.
It's my understanding, too, that Task Force 59 has inspired other task forces throughout the military to do similar work with sensors and surveillance, reconnaissance. How ultimately will these task forces and these efforts integrate together?
Yeah, I'll just use the example here in U.S. Central Command, where we have all the service components. So Task Force 59 is the Navy component. The Air Force's 9th Air Force now has a Task Force 99. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Army's 3rd Army has Task Force 39. So these 3 components will work together under a common vision from the CENTCOM commander to advance our innovation.
And that helps the Navy and the U.S. military broadly see ocean floor to space.
Absolutely. Seabed to space, integrating sensors in the most dynamic, vibrant way that we can.
So none of the platforms that are being used here or experimented with here are armed. Is that correct?
We're focused on domain awareness right now. That's correct.
But as the war in Ukraine has showed us, drones, armed drones in the sky and in the water will inevitably play a very big role in the future of warfare. How is the Navy, how is the military preparing for armed vessels, armed systems in the water?
Yeah, I think we all recognize that the armed systems in the air have been around for 20 to 30 years at this point. Underneath the sea, you have sensors that have operated unmanned undersea vehicles for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so we're on the leading edge of this work on the surface. Right now, we're focused on the domain awareness and understanding of what's happening, and I'm certain in the future we'll look to advance the capability.
Can you tell me more about the importance of Israel's participation in your efforts?
Yeah, a couple things about Israel. Number one, they're an extraordinary capable Navy and military, so having them in a partner adds value to maritime security, particularly in the Red Sea, and that's good for everybody. More specifically, both the Abraham Accords and their transition in alignment from U.S. European Command to U.S. Central Command has allowed us to work more closely than we've ever been able to work before. So in the last year, just from a bilateral basis, we've done more than 30 exercises with Israel, enhancing our overall proficiency and interoperability. And then more broadly, because they are quite proficient at sea and in multi-domains and in unmanned, they bring extra value to the sensors that are participating in this exercise. And again, I think at the end of the day, you'll find their participation helps ensure increase in deterrence and greater regional stability. That's good for the free flow of commerce, and that's good for everybody in the region.
You're building out a fleet of 100 unmanned platforms by the end of next summer. That will be an international fleet. Is that correct?
Yeah, the goal is, as you mentioned, 100 unmanned surface vessels patrolling the waters around the Middle East by the end of next summer. The United States would have about 20% of those, but our partner nations would resource the remaining 80%, and we're on path to do that. What we do offer now is the latest and greatest that's out there, both in unmanned systems and artificial intelligence.
Admiral Cooper, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thanks. Great to chat with you. I appreciate it.
It's great to be here.